Pull laces. Bars roll for 30 seconds. Wait for the slate, please. Wait for the slate.
And you're going to be facing straight ahead.
Everyone I've talked to knows the exact date when they've been hit.
Yeah, it's burned into your memory.
Yeah. A live day.
September 21st of 04 is when I got hit. But I guess it depends on how you consider it, because there's 3 times they tried flying me out, and all 3 times I died on a helicopter.
I feel like I'm not supposed to be here. My best friend was behind the driver, and he lost his life.
I always somehow see my picture on there where it should be January 2nd, 2005. Specialist Dexter, or PLC Dexter in Pitts, killed in Baghdad.
I wake up and I thank God that I'm actually alive, and I pat myself on the back. I survived another day.
I mean, how many people can look at you and say, you know, I just stared down with death, and I won. You know, and I got a second chance.
You know, you're just happy that you're alive.
I want to thank you for everything you've done. I admire you for that. And for coming here.
Very welcome.
Thank you.
Everybody always says if this, you know, were going to happen, it couldn't have happened to a better person.
All right, hailing out of 1st Platoon, the 411th MP Company. Standing about 5'4", 125 pounds soaking wet. Anderson! Specialist Anderson, the 0.5.
Tell me what happened first.
It was probably around 11 when it actually happened. I was driving, and me and my team leader, his name's Kenny, we always sit there and talk and bullshit and, you know, make fun of everything that we're doing and, you know, just trying to keep a sense of humor so we keep our mind off being scared.
So wait, how are you feeling today on this wonderful day?
Just great knowing that our wonderful platoon sergeant is coming back to make their life a living hell today.
Yes, I cannot wait either.
And if I remember correctly, I was smoking. I had my left hand on the steering wheel. I was smoking, and then the bomb went off. I didn't hear it, but I saw it, like the flash and the smoke and the fire coming through the door. And I realized we got hit, so I was like, oh, we got hit. And then I had blood on my face and the flies were landing all over my face, so I wiped my face to get rid of the flies, and that's when I noticed that my fingertip was gone. So I was like, oh, okay. And that's when I started really assessing myself. I was like, all right, that's not bad. And then I turned my hand over, I noticed like this piece of, you know, this chunk of my hand was gone. So I was like, okay, still not bad. I can live with that. And then when I went to wipe the flies with my face again with my left hand, there was nothing there. So that's when I was like, oh, you know, that's gone. And then I looked down and I saw that my legs were gone. And then they had kind of forced my head back to the ground so that hoping that I wouldn't see, you know.
What was your immediate reaction to that?
Well, I was just kind of like, oh, shit. This is, you know, obviously my left leg. That's what I have left of it. This one's a lot shorter than my other one. And this is the surgery mark, and then all down here is the actual, you know, sewing line from the injury. They folded it up and put it there. And then my arm just kind of goes into the socket to about here.
And your hand? What's that? Do that again?
I can spin it all the way around. You can open and close it, and that's pretty much all it does.
Can you take my hand? Would that be a problem?
No, because I'm...
Well, you can control that very well.
Yeah, pretty much. If I didn't have my hand, if I lost both my hands, I really think, you know, it wouldn't be worth it to be around. Only because to have both your legs gone and both your hands gone would be 1,000 times more difficult.
Maybe a sensation of touch, too, in a sense.
Right. Well, I can't feel these 3 fingers either.
Well.
But it's slowly coming back, so I'm very hopeful. But I can still pick up a fork and feed myself and you know, clean myself up in the shower or whatever.
So it's about being independent.
Yeah, it has to do a lot with being independent.
Have you heard about that? A lot of people have said that you now have 2 birthdays.
Yes, the alive day.
The day that you were born and the day that you almost died and you were alive.
Right.
Do you have any feelings on that? Or?
For right now, I'm sure it'll change in the future. But for right now, I feel that your alive day, everybody makes a big deal about it, especially at Walter Reed, all the therapists, and they're like, oh, it's your alive day, congratulations. And I can see their point, that you would want to celebrate something like that. But from my point of view, it's like, okay, well, we're sitting here celebrating the worst day of my life. Great. Let's just remind me of that every year. I don't know.
What day was, what was the day?
October 23rd of 05.
You know, it's been a long journey for us. You know, Eddie's truly a miracle Marine. He wasn't supposed to be here. And we struggled, you know. He was supposed to be on life support for the rest of his life, and, you know, the doctors gave us no hope.
Here we got Eddie observing. See what he can do.
The boys were on a rooftop, and, you know, unfortunately, Eddie was hit. He had expired for 2 minutes up on that rooftop, and they did what they needed to do, and they got him to Baghdad. And Balad, that's where they removed the bullets.
Back up! We need to get a man to the fucking ground!
His damage was mostly on the frontal lobes. And that talks about emotion, behavioral, so a lot of that was affected on Eddie. So, although he understands and he recognizes us, there's still some behavioral issues that we deal with. And his brain was, 2/3 of his brain was affected. So he had the top part of his head here is acrylic and it has titanium plates, which are here. Here, let me hold your hand, buddy. And scar looks good. We were talking about the scars this morning, and he doesn't want them covered.
No?
No, he's proud of his scars. Right? Those are your battle scars, buddy, right? And you're proud of them. That's what he told me. What do we say?
Every day.
Inch by inch, it's a cinch.
Yard by yard.
Yard by yard, it's hard, right? Do you want to walk?
No.
No? What? What do you want to do?
I want to run.
You want to run? All right.
You want to see the crazy leg?
When you first saw him, what did he look like?
It looked really bad. A lot of the fluid had, thank you, had caused his body to swell. He was just not recognizable. We only knew it was Eddie because of his tattoos. Yeah, his tattoos, the one thing that we were like, oh, another tattoo, but nothing we were so glad to see on that day. And he's got a pit bull dog there, the heart of a pit bull, right? Is that what you got? You got the heart of a pit bull?
Yes, sir, you do.
Yeah, and he's giving you a piece of his heart. There you go, buddy. That's awesome. Doctors told us he's not going to recognize you, and he's not going to know who you are. And just out of the blue one day, he just said, Mom. First time I kissed him. Oh, man, we got lots of kisses. I've been kissing him since Germany.
A gazillion kisses.
A gazillion kisses. Mom gives him a gazillion kisses. Yeah. How many kisses? Gazillion all the time, right? Help him get better. Every day, buddy, right? We're working towards that goal. It's getting Eddie up and better and walking, getting back to his Marines. He wants to be a drill instructor, He's not finished with the Marine Corps. Yeah. Sing the Marine Corps hymn.
From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we will fight our country's battles on their own land and sea.
First to fight
for right and freedom and to keep our honor clean. We are proud to claim the title, fucking United States Marines.
Very good. Hoorah. There you go. Punch it out, buddy. You're good.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we thank you for your presence here with us today.
With the light from above, from the mountains, through the prairie, to the ocean, white with foam.
I have the honor to present Comrade Davis and salute. I have for you the VFW lifetime membership. She said she wants to go back to Iraq. She's got more guts than I do. Isn't that the truth?
Hello.
Let me see that then, too.
This is the most meaningful tattoo for me. It really is. It's got my live day, the day that I got hit, the unit I was with, and where I got injured at.
Why did you join up?
To have a change in my life. I was with the wrong people at the wrong times, and just to kind of stay out of trouble, so I joined the military.
Where's your home?
Camden, South Carolina. Born and raised. This town will suck you in and keep you. And the only way out is marry somebody out of state and move with them, or join the military, basically. I can't wait to go back. I want to finish what I started. Most of the people that I went to school with already have kids, and 2 or 3 of them. I was a lucky one. Thank God. This right here, it's a gel liner to cushion for your muscles and your bones and stuff. There's no pressure supposed to be on the bottom of it. It's supposed to even out the pressure. And I called it my Snoopy because the bone of it kind of stuck out like that, and I could stick it out the window of the car and look it at the mirror and do that and look like Snoopy. And this is actually, believe it or not, this is my good leg. This leg, I've had so much problems with it. They had to cut me right here and over here to actually save the leg, and they did a skin graft right here. Every bone below my knee, including my knee, was broken.
How long were you in Iraq before you got hurt?
Approximately 3 months. I found this leg. It was underneath the seat.
And you found this leg?
Well, I didn't know where it was to begin with, and it was kind of crushed underneath my seat. My right leg was on top of the steering wheel, bent backwards, and the foot was cut off right above the boot, and it was hanging off the other end of the steering wheel.
What was it like in the hospital?
I woke up every day for a while saying, I'm 21 years old at the time. I'm gonna wake up every day with no foot. How am I gonna get myself through it? I never really felt sorry for myself because of this, and I told everybody, if you're gonna cry, do it in another room because I'm happy, keep me happy, and we'll all be happy. But when I had my breakdowns, it was really, really hard. It finally kind of hit me all at once, I guess, and it tore me up, it really did.
What do you miss?
There's 2 things that I used to love to do before this was drive and dance. I actually danced my first song on my prosthetic 2 Fridays ago, and it was emotional. It really was. I loved it. I felt normal again.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a very, very special guest in the house this evening. A true American hero, Miss Crystal Davis. A year ago, Crystal was out serving her country in Iraq and ended up getting involved with an IED that ended up taking her leg. She's celebrating tonight her Alive Day, and what that represents is a year ago, she wasn't going to be sure she's going to be here with us tonight. She was afraid she was not going to be able to dance ever again.
She's going to get my other leg. Wait a minute. Let's go, everybody!
We're going to dedicate this next song to the band's newest brown-eyed girl.
Everywhere we go, days when the rains came down in the hollow, playing a new game, standing in the sunlight, laughing, rainbows fall, sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-da. Come on now, sha-la.
Crystal Davis, everybody.
I didn't come out here to sing, I came out here to dance.
I remember looking out the window and just thinking about how quiet it was. I mean, it was one of those nights in the desert. I'll never forget it. It was just crisp. It was clear sky. I mean, there's nothing like the desert sky in Iraq. That's one thing that I'll never forget. The RPG just came straight through my shoulder and then exploded right next to my head, just behind me. I was very scared to look at my own amputation. I was very scared to know what it looked like, because if I looked at it, then I sort of acknowledged it. And for a while, initially, I didn't want to. I wanted, you know, if I didn't see it, if I didn't think about it, then, you know, it didn't exist. I feel so high maintenance. I mean, I went from being a soldier, you know, I peed in water bottles. I mean, I really wanted to lead soldiers in combat. I wanted that experience. I wanted to be put to the test. But I remember there was a very distinct moment when I finally realized what I was. I was an amputee from the war. And I was just like the guys I saw that were missing 2 legs or that had, you know, extensive facial scarring or burns or a bad brain injury. I mean, I was one of them. This arm actually was one of a kind. I think there's now a few others. But I was not happy with the prosthetics that they gave me at Walter Reed. I said, I don't want to look like a robot, and I don't want to wear a freaking hook. I mean, I was anybody that knows me, I was very passionate, very adamant about this. I refused to train on it. I had wanted nothing to do with it. And everybody said I was crazy. They said, well, how are you going to do things? Well, I'll figure out a way to do it without the damn hook. It brings a little bit of anxiety walking around. Is somebody gonna ask me what time it is and I'm not gonna be able to move my arm up to look at the time because it doesn't move? And is somebody gonna come up and touch it accidentally or bump it? I try to say, you know what, this is who I am.
The next station is Dumont Circle.
I think people come away from the war wanting to feel that they made a difference, wanting to feel like their sacrifice or their time or their energy was worth it. I went over a young lieutenant. I had a lot of energy, and I was very naive. I don't think I fully understood what could happen or, you know, how people are then forced to live with the consequences of war. War is, I mean, it's horrible. I don't like the sounds associated with it, the smells I associate with it. But I'm glad I did it.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'll gladly stand up next to you.
When I came back, a lot of people would ask me, well, how do you feel about this? Do you ever, you know, do you ever think you'll get married? Do you ever think you'll have a boyfriend? Do you ever think you'll have kids? And, you know, I didn't know the answers to all those questions, but as I go through life, I'm learning that it has nothing to do with whether or not I'm an amputee. I mean, do I wonder if my kid, if I ever have a kid, do I wonder if they'll love me, like, for who I am? I hope so.
What were you just thinking about?
The reality of, you know, will I be able to raise a kid? I won't be able to pick up my son or daughter with 2 arms. I won't. But I just, you know, I hope they still love me, and I hope I'll still be a good parent. What can you do?
Well, if it matters, I think you're going to be a wonderful parent.
Goodbye, Fort Drum! I'm free!
Boy, Special Pits. I just signed out of the Army like 30 minutes ago. Going home for good.
Goodbye, baby.
I had some good times, I had some bad times, man. But you know what? Everything in it was all worth it. I'm a veteran of my country now. It's official. I'm free. I did my part. Nobody can ever question me about anything I do.
I'm free! Goodbye! Woo!
Go home, all my friends, man, you've changed, you know. Yeah, I've changed, of course. You know, you haven't been through what I've been through. Of course I'm going to change. You know, everything seems like a dark place now, kind of, that I'm out the Army. Because I don't feel welcomed anywhere in the civilian world, really. It's hard, man, because I thought my life was over, you know, because everything that happened. But, you know, like, it's been 2 years, and I'm slowly getting everything back that I used to be. I'm a nice guy. I'm a teddy bear, man. I'm a nice, lovable guy. I've done some, like, mean things to kids over there that I had to do. And I tell people some things I've done, they're like, no, not Dex, man, not you. I did what I had to do to survive. I sit there in my bed at night, and everything plays over and over from the first moment, and I hear these Iraqi voices coming towards me. I don't want to live that life no more, be on my medication every moment that I wake up. When I want to go to sleep, I have to take a pill. I don't want to live like that, you know.
Is this what the Army calls combat stress? I mean,
PTSD is what they call it. In the world I come from, in the Army and the infantry land, you know, they don't believe in PTSD. They believe that they're just weak-minded people there's nothing wrong with you. You know, as a part of my language, but get the sand out your clip and pick up and drive on. There's nothing wrong with you. It's not my fault, you know? I don't want to, do they think I want to live like this?
Because you're a young kid and you're dealing with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and I don't want to, I've seen some of the movies, like, I've seen some Vietnam guys on the street corners and signs, you know, crazy guys and walking around. You know, they got these severe mental disorders. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be like when my sister has kids. I want to be crazy Uncle Dex that fought in the war. That's like, you know, ain't got his mind right, bouncing all around and crazy. I don't want that to be me. I don't want this. I don't want this war what happened to control my life. I want to get the control back of my life. I'm not gonna let a bad experience from my past ruin me.
I didn't know that I was blind. I kept pulling at the bandages and everything, and it was actually my ex-wife, who was my wife at the time, had to tell me that I was blind. I had lost both eyes. I've got 8 prosthetic eyes. I wear one on the right side. The left side has too much scar tissue in the socket, so I can't support one. But this eye is a nice blue color. It's got a carat's worth of diamonds in the pupil. Those are the diamonds from my wedding band. My marriage fell apart because of my injury. So I had the oculist at National Naval grind the diamonds out of my wedding band and set them in an eye. And I kind of carry that around. It's the one I wear most of the time. You know, you put that eye in, you know that's the eye with the diamonds in it, and it kind of makes you think back as to, you know, how it has truly affected your life on an emotional sense long term.
What do you remember? What are the first things that you remember?
I remember turning a corner and watching the rooftops, because I was in the turret, so I watched the rooftops and the windows, basically anything from the roof of the Humvee up to make sure we had no hostile forces. And I looked down to kick the guy in the passenger seat and tell him that we were clear up top, and that's why I was looking down. And I remember the explosion going off here, and it was a delayed detonation to the one in front of us. And I remember this guy just blowing up, and then within a couple of seconds, it just went black on me.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
It's a guerrilla war is what it is. You're fighting people that don't have uniforms. You know, I can look at you and I could look at him, if I could see. But I could look at you, I could look at him, and you could be a bad guy, he could be not, but I wouldn't know. Because you're not wearing a uniform, he's not wearing a uniform. You're all wearing gutras and robes. I grew up on all those Vietnam movies, Platoon, Full Metal Jacket, you know, all of those good movies, and you really glorify war. And then when you get there, you realize that shit, this is not glory. You know, getting shot at is not fun. This is not what I want to do.
Red, this is Raven 3. Be advised, that last engagement down the road was exactly what LPG...
It's hard to go into that situation, be successful in that situation, and complete your mission, and then come back to the United States and not have all that on your mind. Because it's not normal to sit there and kill somebody, especially if you do it up close and personal and see that person die. You know, that's going to change you. That's going to affect you mentally for the rest of your life. You're always going to know that you could do it, and it takes a huge toll on you. They come back, and then you have nightmares. I had some really bad nightmares. I remember, you know, I had some night. This was really strange. But I was in a bedroom of a condo that I used to live in. And I was getting in a fight with some guy. I don't know who he was, you know. I was fighting him in this room, and all of a sudden I just reached over and bit his throat out. You know, it's like, well, where does that come from? I never had dreams like that before I went to Iraq, before I joined the military. I never had any of those problems. Now I got them. And then you sit there and you wake up and you're like, whoa, what's wrong with me?
My name is Jonathan Bartlett. I was 19 when I got hit in Iraq. We were just outside of Fallujah, got blown up, long story, it hurt a bunch, and now I have shiny legs. This is my mom. Hi, kitty.
The baby, the family.
Girl. Who's your good kitty? Who's Mr. Kitty? Ow! Ah, here we go. This is my unit. These two guys got hurt. My unit got chewed up. Another one of my buddies. I got to meet Mike Tyson. That's my truck. I got chucked out of the door. I was like outside the truck. I was found over here, like in this area. And these were these holes right here were big enough at the bottom to stick an M4 in, which is like this long. See, this is where my head went through the steering wheel. See how it's broken? I would do it all again. Obviously, I would try to miss the bomb.
This is John Bartlett.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Oh, yeah, I know who you are.
How you doing? My name's Jim. What's up?
The bright lights. I feel like I'm being abducted.
Why did you join the Army?
Because I believed in it. I wanted to. I wanted to go and, protect the nation and defend it and punish those who would seek to destroy it. I really, really wanted to. I believe in that. If I wouldn't do that now, not anymore. Like, if they gave me legs tomorrow, I would go and pursue my other goals, but I really, really, really felt like it was a good idea. I had invested so much into being a soldier, into defending my country, that it was like the glass that I was on shattered on the floor. Everything went away. I do nothing, because I couldn't be in the military anymore. I could, but I couldn't do what I wanted to do. I couldn't do what I was good at. Tore me up. Like, every time I looked into that mirror of what I used to be, or what I was, I saw somebody trying to stand up, and there was all this blood and pain, and he couldn't stand up. He couldn't do anything. He just lied there and screamed. It was bad. You wake up in the hospital and you don't have your fucking legs anymore, you're gonna cry. You try to move around and you can't, you cry. You can't sleep for a week when you're getting off the sleep meds, you cry. You sit there and you have pain to such an extreme that you can't control your body, you cry. You feel loss, you cry. It happens. It's nothing to be ashamed of, it happens.
Do you feel it was for something?
I didn't have a choice in getting blown up, obviously. I didn't wake up in the morning and say, cool, it's my turn to do a sacrifice. I don't view it as a sacrifice. I was a soldier, I got hurt, it's what happens. I used to be very angry about it, because I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I thought I couldn't do things with my life. And then I saw people like myself who live and prosper and everything's groovy. And I began to believe that everything got groovy, and it got groovy.
Good for you.
I'm sorry I talk a lot.
No, listen, we're on your side.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's an honor to meet you.
The insurgents are waiting a quarter of a mile away, waiting just to push a button.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar wal azallah. Allahu Akbar.
There was only 4 of us in the Humvee: the driver, the tactical commander, the scout, my best friend, and the gunner. If I would have told my best friend to sit behind me, maybe he would still be alive. That blast blew the door off the second Humvee, the back door behind the driver. And the scout who was scanning, he was severed. Half of his body went with the door and fell out of the Humvee. His legs were still in the Humvee. And all I heard was screaming, and everything went black. The shrapnel just exploded. It went everywhere. And the shrapnel that went into my cheekbone went up into my brain. They say I was in a coma for 12 days. I'm like a 6-year-old in a man's body. I'm like, if you see me on the street, I would look normal, but I'm not. I have a closed head injury, a closed traumatic brain injury. And when I can't remember my own kid's name, it's like you're walking and you're thinking, okay, who do I can't ask a nurse what my kid's name. I can't ask a therapist. Who do I ask? If I call my brother, he's at work. And I feel stupid. My brother helps me remember my son's name.
What's his name?
His name is Manny. And my daughter's name is Precious.
Well, that's a beautiful name.
I go to memory groups at the VA hospital. I go to cognitive skills, PT, occupational therapy, neurological. I see a psychologist twice a week. And it's just that I try to build up back to where I used to be.
You're still it.
I fought for everyone to feel free. Sure, they give you medals and they tell you, you're alive, but you feel empty. You feel like you lost.
Give it time.
Thank you.
No, man. Thank you.
Rolling cameras.
It's gonna take time.
One thing that did cross my mind is I thought, God, I'm shredded, I'm torn up. I'll be single the rest of my life. Who the hell could love me like this? Who could love me like this?
He loves so good, so hard. I mean, it's so genuine.
So I was driving on the radio, and next thing I know, it was probably not even a minute and a half later when I got hit, and I ran over a pressurized bomb. I knew. I just said, shit, I'm hit, and I couldn't move. I knew it must have been really bad because I could see it in everybody's eyes, how they were looking at me, and I just thought, no way. I'm not going to give anybody the common courtesy of watching me die, especially in this land. No way.
it feels like you're a piece of trash. And instead of, out a piece of trash laying on the street, you're in a hospital bed. And you go from being a part of one of the most elite fighting forces in the world to worthless. I mean, you're just sitting there. You have to have help for everything. You can't do anything by yourself.
This is to certify the President of the United States of America has awarded the Purple Heart to Corporal Jacob B. Schick, United States Marine Corps, for wounds received in action on 20 September 2004 in Iraq.
When you look at the American flag, what do you see? Most people say, oh, American flag, okay. I could put you in a setting, that would make your skin crawl. Because you've never been and seen a national anthem with a bunch of gurneys and wheelchairs and people with fake limbs, no limbs, burnt faces, burnt bodies, and seeing them salute as good as they could to American flag.
And today, Lord, we honor those who bear the scars of that service, that testify to their duty and the protection and defense that they have provided us.
The fight doesn't stop when you get home. In our cases, it's just begun.
We continue to pray for our brothers and sisters in arms, those who stand the watch and are still in harm's way. Send your angels to protect them and bring them back to us safely. Amen.
My mom has always told me anytime that you feel weak or you feel troubled, you ask for God's help and you ask for angels to come and help you also. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. It didn't matter what religion you were. It didn't matter if you were atheist, Christian, Jewish, Indian, spoke to the spirits, whatever you did, you prayed to whoever you prayed to every time before we went out to wire.
Watch that van right there! Watch that van, watch that van! Watch your van! We're okay!
After I got hit, one of my kids, Stuart, Lance Corporal Stuart,
yeah,
he came up to me and he was like, I'm sorry. I'm like, why are you sorry? He goes, well, I could have put that armor on better. And not his fault. That's the worst. Seeing one of your guys sorry for what happened. They were blowing up these Humvees left and right. It's not a fighting vehicle. It's a transportation vehicle. I always carried the pictures of my kids in my pocket. I always kept those with me every mission that I went on. And you think about as being a Marine and as a soldier and a sailor or whoever, you get hurt, you think about your loved ones. You think about, okay, are you gonna look at me the same way? Okay, let's see.
Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, hi!
He wants me to shake my butt on camera.
Did you ever worry that she would leave you?
Oh yeah, that crosses your mind.
So what's the hardest thing? You're sitting there and I guess your wife and your kids came up, and were they there with you a lot of the time?
Well, I didn't want my kids to see me in that way at that point. I wanted them to see me up and able to move around and, do dad things with them, And that was really hard to see my kids look at me in that way of like, what happened? So my daughter, she would draw pictures, and Dad has, she'd cut one leg off, in her picture, and then it would become from a cutoff to a robot to, so they call me Dad with robot legs, They don't care because they're like, hey, guess what, my dad, he's got robot legs now.
There you go, Daddy.
You hold that up and down. All right, good to go.
Actually, I'm worried about you. You know that ice skated until you lost your legs.
Oh, I know. But got to try it sometime, right?
Are you good?
I'm good. Are you good?
I'm
I'm proud of you.
I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thanks. I can't stop. Okay. If I can lose my legs and still stay alive and be with my kids, be with my wife, then that's where I need to be. God has given me a second chance.
I can't do that. Daddy, thank you for taking us ice skating.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay, watch.
Okay, one more. Yeah, that's it right there. Nice. Okay.
Who's taking me off shoulder? I'm gonna grab your shoulder.
That was great.
No problem. You say bye.
Goodbye.
Say thank you.
Thank you.
Suicide bomber killed 4 and wounded 30 others when he tried
killing at least 44
and
wounding more than 200.
From improvised explosive devices.
There have been gunshot victims trapped.
U.S. soldiers wounded, some of them quite seriously.
Soldiers were needlessly dying.
Soldiers who went to war and won every chance of making it home in one piece.
Under attack repeatedly from this unexpected
15 soldiers killed, 21 wounded.
More than a dozen soldiers were wounded.
The bloodiest incident for U.S. troops.
Over 34,000 civilians.
Nothing kills more U.S. soldiers in Iraq than roadside bombs.
The attack came on the anniversary of the war in Iraq.
The worst days of violence in Baghdad in weeks.
The explosions killed at least 15 and wounded
3 others
70.
of those killed, we're told, died from improvised explosive devices.
Exploded near
These roadside bombs remain the biggest